Corneli, it's time to make some people angry. What is going on, guys? When it comes to Isekai memories, there are a few different ways you can build a team. Some of those team builds are really good, some of them are really shit. In this video, we are going to be discussing the top 5 most poorly built teams in Isekai memories. Now, I would like to point out before we get started that the worst built teams does not mean the worst teams. I just want to make that perfectly clear. There are going to be teams in this video that are actually really freaking good. However, the team structure is really freaking bad. And what better way to show off an example of that than with our number 5 entrant, the Vengeance team. Be honest with yourselves, is that team anything more than just Raphael? The Vengeance team is meant to be a defensive team, but it seems Shuna and Veldora did not get the memo. There are actually a few things I don't like about the Vengeance team, but we can just talk about how poorly it's built. Why is it that Raphael has Vengeance, Guaranteed Guard, Sealing of multiple different types of buffs, and resistance to all attributes? Yom has Vengeance, plus a physical resistance, physical attack resistance, and then Shuna's got Vengeance, plus Ult Rush, and then a stat swap, and then Veldora has Vengeance, plus ult damage up, plus weakness strike and defense, the seal defense up, I think that's what it does. This doesn't make any fucking sense. Like, how did we go from this super defensive team to this poorly made offense? It's not even like it's good offensive skills. Even the offensive skills are terrible. You want to know what the Vengeance team should have been? Shuna should have had magic resistance on her Vengeance skill to match with Yom's physical, and then her other skill, instead of a stat swap, there's something in my hand. There's like this little thing in my hand. Also, my hand is dry as hell. I just washed my hands, and I forgot to put on some lotion afterwards, and it's pissing me off. Her other skill should have just been like a heal or an orange orb change. An orange orb change would have been nice. A heal would also work. Veldora, his Vengeance should have been ult resistance, since Raphael's guard doesn't do anything when the enemy's ulting. And then his other skill, instead of that stupid weakness strike and seal defense, his other skill should remove debuffs and like abnormal conditions. So like if you get poisoned or frostbitten or whatever, Veldora's other skill should be able to get rid of it. I just don't really understand what the point of building the Vengeance team like that was. I mean, it's not really the smartest thing in the world to do, is it? I'm not even looking at the camera. I'm looking straight. The camera's over here. Regardless of how good the Vengeance team actually is, it's just kind of built dumb. And then Velzard herself, there's one thing I hate about Velzard, and for me it's just like a personal problem. I really hate that Velzard doesn't increase your skill cap, because she gives you this 250% skill point increase and resets all of your skills. She's still the only character in the entire game to bring down the skill cost for rearguard allies. In a perfect world, you would be using every single Vengeance skill, multiple orb changes, a heal, and Raphael's seal, like every turn to every other turn. So basically you'd be using every single skill on the team every single turn. In a perfect world, that's what you're doing. God forbid you try and do that when the skill cap was 100. But even with 150, you're just not doing that. Again, that's more of a personal problem that I just feel like would make the team flow better. That's actually why I used to go on this crusade by saying that Overlord Rimuru was a better fit for the Vengeance team as a protector than Velzard was, because genuinely, just having access to a higher skill cap makes the team flow 1,000 times better. And I always found that the extra counterattack I got from Velzard usually only saved me like 1 to 2 turns. That's just my opinion. I think Vengeance is easily one of the best teams we've ever gotten, but also one of the most strangely built teams we've ever gotten. Between half of it being offense and there just being a lot of weird quirks with it that don't really make much sense, on top of my own personal nitpicking, I do think that despite how good the team was for well over a year, it is the 5th most poorly built team in the game. Up next, we have a team that I did not summon for, so I don't actually know where I'm going to get the pictures of the team. I'm sure the wiki has them. Determination to Prosper. Another defensive team that in which half the team, I don't know if like the protectors just like aren't inviting the battle units to the group chat. I don't think Velzard invited Veldora or Shuna to the group chat, for the Vengeance group chat, and I don't think Maribel invited Elmesia or Rimuru to the Prosper group chat, because Lumi showed up with a defensive skill, right? Luminous showed up with basically immortality. She showed up to the party with a defensive skill. Elmesia didn't show up with a defensive skill. Elmesia showed up with a fucking Frieren skill. And last I checked, the Frieren team isn't defensive. And Rimuru was just a gigantic fucking disappointment. The future attack prediction could have been so cool. I made a whole video talking about how cool that could be, that could end up being. God forbid they gave him a skill that nullified and countered attacks, because defense. So it has in fact been 4 hours. I'm not even kidding. I ran out of space and then spent an ungodly amount of time editing everything up to this part, realizing I spent way too much time talking about the Vengeance team. So we're going to hurry the hell up a little bit. I kind of don't want this to be a 45-minute video. Why the fuck? Ignoring the fact that probably the single best free-to-play character to come out, at the very least the best since like Fire Triya in Rieger, I can't say there's anything really all that impressive about the Determination to Prosper team. There's a blueprint for a really good team there, but they just fail at every single turn. Lumi could have been a really good defensive unit if her basically immortality could affect more than just one team. I don't even think it's a force related thing. I think it's just earth and fire, right? And even Maribel has a really stupid and convoluted protection skill that I don't even want to bother with right now. It wants you to accomplish all of these different things just for you to only get weakness strike out of it, which is like one of the weakest buffs in the game. 95% of the team's damage comes from Elmesia, and it's like fucking great, but you also suck. Determination to Prosper team fails at being a defensive team and low-key fails at being an offensive team too. Elmesia was really good during the Ogre's Pride meta, but like there isn't even that much to say about the Prosper team. Like, I'm honestly done with this entry. Like, it's built so terribly and is actually just a bad team that there's not even that much to say about it. It's just bad. What the fuck is under my bed? Number 3 on the list of the worst built teams in the history of Isekai Memories goes to Festive Memories. Honestly, I don't even know what the fuck they were thinking about when it came to the Festive Memories team. It's, once again, a defense team. Funny how these defense teams tend to suck. It's a defense team that is really good at being offensive and really bad at being defensive. Like, it has to have the single worst defensive mechanic ever. At least with Maribel. If there's one plus I could give the Determination to Prosper team, at least Maribel's guard and super guard fucking works for the entire turn. Barrier, on the other hand, if you don't have enough barriers stacked up to actually take every hit, which in most cases is not possible, you just can't avoid taking a shit ton of damage. And for a defensive team, that's not good. And then also, the Maribel we got for the Festive Memories team is like super hyper focused on you having barriers active. Which, I mean, it's fine because you're using that skill on your nuke turn, so you don't need your barriers anymore. I don't have a problem with that. But how are you ever supposed to keep your barriers up if you can't stack a lot of them? It's just the Idolmaster invincibility, but worse. Because barriers do make you completely invincible. Nothing can hurt you when you have a barrier up. And then the team has multiple 90-point skills, even though it doesn't increase skill cap. Is it Maribel or Violet? Some character on that team increases your skill points by like 200 or 150 or something on turn 8. But, like, why would you build a defensive team with no defense and a stacking team with multiple 90-point skills with a skill cap of 150? This team released for the anniversary, by the way, the 3-year anniversary. This was the Christmas meta for the 3rd anniversary. And unfortunately, I'm not done with the 3rd anniversary yet. At number 2 on the list is the Divine General team. Because holy shit. The Divine General team is easily the best team on this list, at least as of right now. Fuck me, is this team have the most frustrating build possible. Raphael, fine. Diablo, fine. That's it. That's it. It's all Elmesia and Gazel's fault, alright? Elmesia has this little thing as a green stacking protector, where she does not increase skill points on greens, or skill point gain on greens. She needs the free-to-play unit Gazel to do that for her. Here's the problem with that. Gazel sucks. Like, he's really fucking bad. Disrespectfully so. He has to be there. You literally cannot run any variation of that team without him and everyone else, because even if you wanted to run different units on the team, but just, okay, we have to put Gazel there. No, every single unit on that team needs to have the Divine General tag, because if any unit up front does not have the Divine General tag, he not only will not allow the extra skill points to be gained on that orb, he won't even swap the fucker. What are we doing here? I don't understand. And the fucking hero, you notice how the hero is not on my team? I didn't fucking summon for her. She sucks. Pierce is the worst ever. She should have just done crit. And I can't find a use for the rewind normally, let alone in the context of the Divine General team. I don't even understand how we got into a situation where this team, the Divine General team, mind you, takes forever. 15 minutes per round, per fight, per stage. It is the longest fights ever, just for it to fuck me in the face the second I want to make any alteration to the team. I don't even know how you're supposed to use this team if you have the hero on it, because how are you supposed to deal with like any turn 1 orb change? Are you just supposed to sit there and retry for hours and hours and hours until you just have a starting hand of 5 greens? You want to know why I don't make showcases anymore? Because I got sick of hitting retry for 45 straight minutes just to get 1 run out of the like 7 I would normally have in my videos. It genuinely became not worth the fucking time. And the Divine General team is built so ridiculously stupid, you pretty much have to do that. Even if you want to run the team the way they wanted you to run the team, it's still the most inefficient thing in the world. The Divine General team is the definition of inefficient and completely inept game design. This team headlined the 3rd anniversary, and genuinely, all of this team's problems would have been solved had Elmesia just increased skill points on greens. That one thing fixes the entire team, because then you can just not have Gazel. And not having Gazel instantly makes the team 1,000 times better. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm rather passionate about this one, and it brings us straight into number 1. The number one worst design team in the game's history belongs to none other than Protector of Peace. The Protector of Peace team is what happens when you try to do too much without a plan. Masayuki is the one that started this stupid fucking trend of green stacking protectors not increasing skill points on greens, by the way. So blame him for the reason why the Divine General team is also on this list. You have to use Geld in order to increase skill points, and he actually just stops you. He caps you at 500, which is fine. But, like, he actually caps you. At least Gazel technically can keep going forever. Water Rimuru is incredibly selfish, which would be fine, but we're gonna see that it isn't. Hinata is okay. Shion is the ogre that's not on the ogre's pride force, and is also incredibly selfish and has follow-up orbs for some weird reason. The entire point behind the team is to hit the opponent enough times in a turn to max out Masayuki's protection skill. I think it goes up to like 40% attack each turn, depending on how many hits the enemy receives. So you've got follow-up orbs, you've got multi-hit state, you've got all these different things to try and max out Masayuki, but even the team itself can't max out Masayuki. I'm pretty sure there's actually no possible way for you to just use the team as it was released with 0 alterations. I don't think it's possible for the team itself to max itself out. I'm pretty sure you need some other external skill in order to max out Masayuki, and I don't think such a skill exists yet. So I actually just don't think it's possible to max out Masayuki. Please tell me if I'm wrong. I didn't summon for the team, so I genuinely don't know. But I don't remember seeing a case where you could max out Masayuki. Again, I could be wrong on that. That's very possible. But even if I am wrong and you can max out Masayuki, the team is just a clusterfuck of bullshit that doesn't work well with each other. I think I made this point when I made the video about Shion, but the Protector of Peace team isn't a team. It's just a bunch of individual units that happen to get released around the same time, and then it started the worst trend ever. Actually, is it the worst trend, or is the one element only ult swap the worst trend ever? I think that's the worst trend ever, and that started with the Divine General team. So we'll call the green orb protectors, the green stacking protectors not increasing skill points on greens, as the second worst trend in the game's history. It's so infuriatingly bad. The team itself is just bad, and then the way it's designed is the epitome of infuriating. I hate it. I hate everything about it. It pisses me off to no end. That's my top 5 worst designed teams in the history of Isekai Memories. All of them are EX teams, and all of them have released within the past 24 months. Not even. All of them have released within the past, like, 18 months, which is interesting. Keep in mind, this is not a list of the 5 worst teams in Isekai Memories. It's a team of the 5 worst designed teams in Isekai Memories. There are teams far worse than any of the 5. The only one of these teams that I would actually put in the 5 worst teams list would probably be Determination to Prosper. That's probably the only one that would actually end up in a top 5 worst teams video. In fact, if I were to make a top 5 best teams video, 2 of the teams in this video would be in that one, Vengeance and Divine General. However, those teams are not good because of how they're designed. They're actually really good in spite of how they're designed. So let me know what you guys think about this. I will be doing the opposite. I will be making a video of the top 5 best designed teams in Isekai Memories. And let me know if you guys want a video of the top 5 best and worst, just straight up teams. That's a lot harder to determine, but I'll see what I can do if you guys want to see it. I'll see you guys in a few days, probably, for the top 5. I'll see you guys in a few days for the top 5 best design teams in Isekai Memories. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you then. Peace.